So I want to ask you, there's a lot of conversation about performance and attribution. It seems like a buzzword now, but I wanted to know for Nielsen in terms of the service you provide and the way that you see that industry or that demand. What is that demand? How is it changing, and how are you meeting that demand?
What we've seen traditionally is that a lot of players in the publisher space, the digital publisher space, have been offering measurement to their advertiser community as an add-on to, as a benefit and value in their service. And what advertisers are really asking us for is how do they measure comparably across the walled gardens, and how do they have one type of measurement that is consistent and comparable across and summarizing on behalf of all of these media options that they have. How do they measure that effectively and compare that so that they can optimize their investments? And so even though that measurement that's offered in the publisher space as an add-on to their investments in advertising, they're very helpful for optimizing within the properties of that publisher. But in terms of evaluating across those properties, that's what advertisers are really looking for. And we see actually the publishers really weighing in and into the water and demanding that as well. They want to prove their value relative to other offerings, and they want a comparable measurement as well. So they're looking for actually participating in that, and we see the future as more collaboration and contribution there if that measurement across.
And not to get too deep in the weeds, but a lot of people sort of understand that Nielsen is large, it's panel-based, but how is the performance solution created?
Yes. Well, we have various ways that we do it today. So we work with a lot of advertisers and that have first-party information. And so they have their own sales information, they have their own outcome measurement that we leverage and are able to connect it back to advertising exposure. So that is one way that we connect outcomes to actual exposure. In terms of the walled gardens, we also have integrations where we work with them collaboratively, and we're able to measure that from within the walled garden in a space that's Nielsen specific, so that we are really managing that and responsible for it, but we're working very much in collaboration with those publishers to be able to measure accurately and then bring it out for comparison.
Great, and tell us what you're doing in the retail space, and there's a new partnership with Quotient.
That's right.
Tell us what's going on there.
Yeah, so what we're seeing with retail is we're being approached more and more by brick and mortar retailers who are really venturing into the digital space. And so they're embarking on their omni-channel strategy and competing in a new way. And what they have seen is, what they're seeing, what they're trying to evolve to is really how do they engage with consumers in advance of seeing them in their stores. And consumers today are very much seeking convenience. They want to be knowledgeable in their purchases, they're variety seeking, and they are coming in armed with what they want to do. And we also see in the convenience space with click and collect and curbside pickup that all of the brick and mortar is looking to engage with consumers prior to that in order to convert them to their stores. And so with regard to our partnership with Quotient, we've seen a lot of interest in that with digital coupons and apps that enable consumers to engage in advance when they're making their decisions about where they're going to shop, what they're going to buy, and making that plan and trying to optimize that process so that they are not spending all of their free time shopping, that they can make that as pain-free as possible.
And finally, speaking to clients on the buy side and the sell side, what are sort of the demands that are made, the expectations, the solutions in terms of performance that you're hearing and that you're hoping to solve?
Yeah, well, there's the consistency that I spoke about earlier, but there's also, digital is very much a space that we've been operating in and figuring out, even with changes in the industry, in the ad tech, martech space. But really what the industry is looking for is, as television becomes addressable, that we fold in television into those same metrics and on the same level playing field with digital, so that comparison can be similar, and that they can compete on a level playing field around the addressable market and curating consumer experiences and how to really value those audiences and value their assets fairly.